Stress. It is a state of mental and emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. Now, this is what Wikipedia says. Hi, this is Clarity Coach Lucy, and I want to welcome you to Tuesday Talks at 3. Welcome to the Stress Situation Series, Episode 1. Now, stress is something that we make reference to every day. And in our series of 4 episodes, we seek to find out what it means to be stressed, number 1. Number 2, how to avoid and relieve stress, how to have healthy ways to handle these life stresses, and lastly, to have mental wellness. So a very good afternoon to all of you who are tuning in. Thank you so much. We are on IG Live this time around, and it is good to see you here. I can see Nancy, great to see you. I can see Patsy, great to see you. We are live. Oh, great to see you, Cozy Tours and Events, that you are here. Today we are talking about stress. The month of April is about stress awareness. Good to see you here, Barbara. The Stress Awareness Month is commemorated in the month of April. And to be able to give this honor to stress and to things that are matters that we live with every day, we've decided here at Tuesday Talks at 3 to have a 4-part series, and we hope that you will be with us for those 4 parts, the 4 episodes, and that during this month of stress, you owe it to yourself, you will be aware of what stress means, how it is when you are feeling stressed. You will not misuse the word stress, but you will be able to come from a point of understanding that you are stressed for a specific reason. You will be able to avoid or relieve the stress, or just manage the stress, because this is what is important also, to manage the stress. Now, to help me to do this month, this series, is Patsy Litunya. And as I bring her onto the screen, I'm just getting her onto the screen. I saw her there. Patsy, could you just rejoin? Yes, there you are. I'm just going to call you onto the screen, Patsy. Okay. I'm just bringing you on now, Patsy. There you go. So I just want to introduce her. And her name is Patsy Litunya, and she is a counseling psychologist at Kenya Utalii College. She's a certified professional trainer, and she holds a certificate in addiction counseling. She also holds a diploma and a Bachelor of Arts degree in counseling psychology. So great to see you there. She has already joined us. The question for today, for all of you who have joined us, is, what are you stressed about? What are you stressed about? What is that one thing that really stresses you? Yeah, and please share your answer with us. Please share any questions that you may have that you would like Patsy and I to answer. Patsy, I can see you. A very good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm fine, Lucy. Nice to see you.
Good to see you, and we're getting you loud and clear. Patsy, today I would like to thank you and thank the Almighty Father for making this possible, that the two of us can come together on a platform like this to touch people's lives, and to touch people's lives with something that is so relevant today, and this is stress. We keep on hearing this statement, I am stressed, or like we say here, Kenyanese, niko na stress, niko stressed. These are the things we keep on hearing. And at times, we may not understand what it means to be stressed. You look at somebody and you wonder, why is she saying that she is stressed? And we want to understand where this person is coming from. So my question today to the audience is, what are you stressed about? So that we can kind of unpack that one and see where it's coming from. However, Patsy, our modern lives come with a whole set of stresses. And I've shared the Wikipedia definition. And the way I shared it was, it is a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. Yeah, but that is me stating it and quoting it directly from Wikipedia. But from you as a counselor, I would like to hear how you define stress. Patsy.
Thank you, Lucy, for this opportunity to be talking to our audience about stress. And I will start by defining your definition is definitely right. However, I'll say stress is a normal body reaction when there are changes or challenges that occur in our lives. Therefore, this normally results either in physical, emotional, and intellectual responses. Our body is designed to experience stress and react to it. I believe our God, when he was creating us, he knew that we were going to experience challenges. And the Bible says that it is not easy, yes, but he will help us to go through. And therefore, I believe that is how God created our body, to experience stress and react to it. Therefore, it is just, stress is a feeling of emotional or physical tension, just like you have described. When you experience changes or challenges, those are it's called stressors in life, right? Your body produces physical and mental responses. And therefore, this is what we call stress. The physical and mental responses is what is now we call stress. Therefore, stress responses, they help your body to adjust to the new situations. And that is why we are still talking about physical and emotional responses. So what causes stress in one person may not be stressful to another person.
True, so true.
So some people, sorry?
I'm saying very true.
Okay, some people.
That's the question I was asking earlier on. If you hear somebody saying, I am stressed, and you're looking at their situation and thinking, what are they stressed about? You know? So you are right in pointing out that stress for one person is not stress for a second person. It's two totally different things. I guess it's perception about stress, and therefore it's good for us to continue defining stress as per the counselor. Sorry for the interruption. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Then thank you for that that addition. So we are saying what may be stressing you, Lucy, may not stress me, Patsy. So it's, for example, there's somebody who will find studying for their exams, they may find it stressful. But the other person will find it easy because maybe the way they have been studying, they have been studying every day. So they may not find it difficult to study for their exams at the end of the semester. Stressful. So I would like us to move to some of the causes of stress. Because in life, we have things that may cause stress. And therefore, we are going to move to some of the common causes of stress in our everyday life. When you're feeling under lots of pressure, for example, you're employed and you are supposed to meet a certain deadline. And for you, you feel that this deadline is not enough. Therefore, there'll be lots of pressure on you, and that will cause you stress. The second cause of stress that I have is when you're facing a big challenge in your life. For example, you may be anticipating, let's say, for example, during this COVID time, when people lost their jobs. Therefore, you may not know whether you are on that list of the people who are going to lose their jobs. And therefore, that is a challenge to you. And in that time, you will be facing, you'll be stressed because you don't know whether you're on that list or you're not on that list, right? Then the third one that I have is you're worried about something. Maybe, for example, you are in a relationship that is not working. So you don't know whether it's going to work, or maybe you are even in a marriage that is not working. Therefore, this will be something that will keep worrying you because you do not know what to anticipate. And therefore, this will give you stress. The other example, well, the other cause of stress which I have is that you may not have so much control of your life. You know, there are things in life which you may have control of, and there are those you do not have control of. Yeah. For example, maybe you have a sick relative who is admitted in hospital and you do not know what to expect, and you have no control over it because you are not God. You do not know whether this person is going to get well or not. And therefore, this is a situation where you do not have control over it. And moving forward, Lucy, I would just like to point out that much as we are talking about causes of stress, in our subsequent series, we are going to look at how we are going to deal with this stress. Therefore, our audience should not get worried that we're just talking about this. Yes. We are going to look at the healthy ways of handling this stress, because remember, there are some things in this life which are beyond your control. But as human beings, we need to know how to cope with it. We need to be assisted how we are going to cope with this situation. Because, for example, if you lose a loved one, this loved one is already gone, but life has to go on. So how are we going to cope with this loss? Therefore, I had to put in this so that we don't just get worried that this will, we're just talking about causes and we will not have ways of coping. So allow me to continue.
Well, before you continue, Patsy,
yes,
I just want to appreciate the fact as we are answering the question, how do you as a counselor define stress? And I like that before we are actually unplugging how we are actually defining stress, we are understanding that it is a normal reaction. And I've been taking notes, as you keep on seeing, I'm with my pen right here, and it is a normal body reaction is what I wrote down here. Our bodies are built to experience and react to stress, and we have these responses that are physical, emotional, and intellectual, and I know we are going to touch on those a bit later. But there's one word that you used before we move forward. You used the word stressors. If you could define what those stressors are, because after that you then jumped into the causes of stress. So could you just redefine stressors for us? What are stressors?
Stressors are now situations that bring in stress. We are talking about what causes your stress. Therefore, as I was talking about the causes of stress, those are the stressors.
I thought so.
Those are the stressors.
I thought so.
Now, the causes of stress. Those are stressors.
And it's interesting when you say that, because this is a reality for all of us. For me, my biggest thing is worry. And yes, I am a life coach, Patsy, and during my sessions, I encourage people to live in the present, the here and now, because that is what you're guaranteed about. You're not guaranteed about this future, but yes, you can prepare for the future, because people who fail to plan, you know, the people actually who planned it in this way. Because if you fail to plan, you're definitely planning to fail. You plan it in this way. You're the one who has kind of directed your life. So not that I am belittling thinking about the future. I encourage that we have to think about the here and now. But even as I am the one who is the converted and I speak about it, I am still worried about the future. And when I take my coachees through my coaching sessions, I define it as stress and overwhelm is us thinking about the future that we're not even guaranteed about. Because you're never really stressed and overwhelmed about the here and the now. The here and the now, you're managing to handle it with what you have in your hands, because like we say in Kenyanese, kama nikubaya, nikubaya. It's happening now. We have to think of it now. So we have to react now and come up with a situation or solution now. But then the stress begins to happen when we are thinking of the future. And that is me. I wear that stress on my forehead. I keep on thinking, so what is going to happen this evening? I'm a mother. So I'm busy thinking about what are we going to eat. But I didn't get some salt today. I'm stressing that the food may not be seasoned enough. What am I stressing about?
Yes.
Something that is going to happen in the future. Yet the here
Yes.
and now, I am actually robbing the beauty of living here and now. And I would like to copy and paste that to something you mentioned, relationships. In my relationship,
Yes.
maybe I'm not in a good relationship, whether with my best friend, whether with my spouse, whether with my cousin, whatever it is. But what can I do about it here and now is one of the things that I find have helped me, although I'm still work in progress. So I love that you've pointed out 4 areas which are the causes of stress. And I'd like to hear from our guests today. We've got Jerry, Maria, we've got Alice, the conscious coach, we've got Emma who has joined us, we've got Kavim Mwendwa, we've got Esther, we've got Barbara. Guys, tell us, Nancy, tell us about your causes of stress. Share with us here on the chat and we'll be able to sample them. So we were continuing with the definition of stress. Patsy.
Yes, Lucy. You mentioned about the here and now. I would like to just mention here that most of the things that we worry about tomorrow or in future, they don't come to pass. 99% of what we worry about the future does not come to pass.
Yeah.
And therefore, worry will never, I'm here to just confirm that worry will never help you in any way. In the event that you are stressed or there's something that is stressing you, you need to check your stressors. Thank you for asking me to define stressors. And therefore, I'm just saying that you need to work on a solution. Once you know what is stressing you, I'm sorry, I have to bring it now here because we are talking about worrying. So I would like us to talk about worry and tell ourselves that worry does not help us in any way, because as we've said, most of the things we worry about don't come to pass. And therefore, worry for me, and I believe even other people, it is a waste of time. Although nobody will believe that. Even me, myself, I will not believe that because I have to get worried in order to get a solution. Yeah. However, what we are saying, worrying is good, but it should not go on for long. What you need to tell yourself, the problem is here with me, but what can I do about it? And yeah. Most of the time, like when you're facing a problem, you are supposed to go through it, face it, feel the pain. That is the only way you will be able to get a solution. And if it is, for example, if you're mourning, let's say you are mourning a loved one because it also causes stress, allow yourself to feel the pain, because you can only heal when you feel the pain. But when you block the pain, it will always come back to you. So what we are saying, when you're living in the here and now, it is good. However, about tomorrow, leave it, it will sort itself out. I know you will say that maybe I'm just saying that because that is what we always tell ourselves. However, the tomorrow that you are worried about is today. The tomorrow you are worried about is today. So you should just, as you said, live in the here and now, because tomorrow will come, yes, but it will be a day like today. And you will see most of the things you were getting worried about did not come to pass. So we continue.
And before, I'm sorry,
the other cause,
I'm interrupting again, and also
no, it's okay.
An ounce of gratitude for the here and now, because many of us perhaps have not arrived at this point. I would like to just see Thierry. Thank you so much, Thierry, for your comment. You say stress is not about one thing. It's a whole lot. It can come, for example, from family and friends. The question would be how to deal with this stress. Fantastic, Thierry. We'll be covering this answer in sessions. If you still the 4 sessions, addressing on the how to deal, how to avoid, to relieve. And in fact, that's our 2nd episode. Thank you so much, Thierry. We've got worry so much about the future. Yes, about the future. And just as we have agreed here with Patsy, that we need to be in the here and the now. You were worried about today, which was the future. But here it is. In fact, in the here and now, gratitude that you're finally here to express and be in that future. Esther says, pressure makes me feel stressed. I hear you. You're not alone. People don't like pressure, but there's one thing, if you know how to deal with it in your mind when the pressure comes, what are the few things apply, Esther? I hope that in this series of the stress situation to give you some pointers. Emma says, more often, small things stress me so much. Please go ahead, Patsy.
Thank you. The other cause of stress, which most of us experience as at maybe our places of work, could be when the responsibilities are overwhelming. That is another cause of stress. The other one we will still discuss later. When you're experiencing discrimination, hate, or abuse. Now, this is in relationships, right? Because mostly discrimination will come in relationships, or even abuse will come in relationships. And therefore, this can cause you stress. My last but not least is when you don't have enough work. Let's say you are employed, and maybe someone is out to frustrate you. They will not give you enough activities, enough tasks. And believe me, that will stress you. Much as we may say that we don't want to work, maybe you want to just be free at your place of work. When you are not given work, when you're not given tasks at work, believe me, it will stress you. The other one, I was thinking it will be the last one, but it is not. When you're going through a period of uncertainty, we can give an example of the same way we during COVID time, when most companies were not doing well. Most of us found ourselves worried about what next, because it's true, you're seeing your company is not doing well and there's nothing you can do about it. And that is where now the issue of having no control of your life comes in. Remember, we have talked about it, but it is another cause of stress when there is that period of uncertainty. We can also pick the same in a relationship. Maybe you are in a relationship, and for us ladies, we always want to know what next. Yes. And yeah, we always want to settle, right?
Yes.
And therefore, you are in a relationship with this person who is just telling you, wait and wait and wait. So that can cause you stress, because for us, we have maybe informed our friends, our relatives that, oh, I found this person and I think this is the right person. Then all of a sudden, the guy just tells you, or the person, your significant other tells you, I'm not ready. And therefore, you do not, because you have invested so much in this relationship in terms of emotions, and therefore, you don't know how to undo what you have already done, right? You have told your friends, and especially for young people, at least for us at our age, we have gone through it and we are able to now just talk about it with a smile. Yeah. But for a young person, this is a stressful situation. Yes, believe me.
In fact,
and I deal with, sorry.
A young person, they feel it's the end of the world. As they knew it, there's nothing we are living for tomorrow. We are dying at this moment. I understand you, and therefore, defining the stress. And I'm really loving, still getting a lot of engagement here, answering the question, what are you stressed about? Nancy says, feeling inadequate makes me stressed. Oh, very true. When you feel inadequate, it does bring matters of stress. Thierry comes with you, Patsy, saying, very true. When we are uncertain, yes, we get stressed. Well, tell us, Patsy, are there some misconceptions of stress?
Kindly repeat, because I think there's some technical hitch on your part, but just repeat the question, please, Lucy.
I'm asking if there are misconceptions of stress.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for that question, Lucy. And now that we will answer when we are talking about types of stress. We have two types of stress. And as we go along, I'm also going to break it down into the sub stresses. Maybe I'll say that. But the first, the two types, we have eustress and distress. What we are talking about when we talk about eustress, it is the experience where we get, we will say, positive stress. And I'm sure somebody will say, is there anything positive about stress? Yes, there is. And therefore, we are going to talk about, to give examples of situations where you find eustress being positive. For example, the birth of a child. It will cause you stress, yes. However, at the end of it all, we normally say it's a bundle of joy. Yes, but for the mother or even maybe the parents, it is a change of situation in the house, because now you're going to have sleepless nights, yes. Of course, maybe you sleep late. However, at the end of it all, there's something good about it, because a child has come to, a new member of the family has joined you. And then the second example is being promoted at work. Believe me, Lucy, when you're promoted at work, much as it's a good thing, it will stress you at some point, because promotions come with responsibilities, which maybe you're not ready for. However, what I would like to say is that much as it will stress you, at the end of it all, it is positive. And therefore, that is an example of eustress. And maybe let me just say that when you get promoted at work, much as you may be stressed now, just live one day at a time, because tomorrow will bring in positivity. As we are saying, we're still talking about eustress. Yeah. Therefore, when you get promoted at work, there are times you will be stressed because of what is expected of you. Now, the other example of eustress is when you move to a new house, or maybe when you're moving to a new city or town. Mm-hmm. It is a positive thing, yes. However, it comes with stress. Therefore, it is good stress. We will say it is good stress. Maybe you're moving to a bigger house, yes. Or maybe you're moving to a new town on promotion. Yeah. But you'll still be stressed, because most of us are used to what you call status quo. And for me, I'm one person who loves status quo. Therefore, I easily get stressed when things change. So I'll also, as we talk about how to cope with stress, I'm also part of that. Then the other example of eustress is studying for exams. We had mentioned that earlier. When you're studying for exams, you're looking forward to, of course, when you're studying for exams, you're looking forward to passing this exam. And if, let's say, you're employed, maybe you're adding on a new skill, but it will stress you, yes. However, it's a good thing, because it is moving you to the next level. And you've seen most of the times when we're studying for exams, you even get these colds, flus. And that is because our bodies get compromised. Our immunity systems get compromise. But at the end of it all, it is a good thing. And therefore, what we are saying is eustress, it motivates us. It makes us work hard towards our goals. And therefore, at the end of it all, that kind of stress is good. Therefore, we will say that there's something good about stress if it is going to turn out in a positive way.
So in this case, then, distress is the unhealthy stress. But I'm very sure when you mentioned earlier on about physical, and you talked about emotional and intellectual responses, then there must be something that our body also does, whether it is good or bad stress. So what are some of the, shall I say, physical reactions that I should be checking in with? Maybe you could give us 5 that we can relate to.
Oh, okay. Before I move to the physical responses of stress, let me also just talk about distress. because you cannot talk about eustress without talking about
I'm looking
eustress.
at the time. I'm looking at the time, Patsy.
Oh,
And
okay, okay.
So if you could give us 5 symptoms of physical and maybe 5 symptoms of emotional, because as we go on with our episodes, you will be able to address the eustress and the distress even deeper.
Yes, and thank you for that, because it is just the opposite of eustress. So we leave it at that. Physical symptoms of stress. First of all, you will experience low energy, because when you get stressed, your body gets there's a way your body will react, and because it's all in the mind, so your mind will tell you there's something wrong, there's some, like we'll say, you're anticipating danger, and this danger is already here, like loss of a job. It's a danger, of course, in your life. Therefore you will experience low energy. And the other symptom could be you will experience chest pains and rapid, like you've just been told something has happened, you will experience rapid heartbeat, right? And the other thing is, just like I was talking about, the immunity being compromised, you can experience flu, and you will wonder what happened. How come I just got this flu? What happened? You will not know, but it is because your body has just been attacked by the stress, and therefore the immune system goes down. Then the other one, you will experience insomnia. Insomnia is lack of sleep. Either you will not sleep well, you will wake up very early in the morning. Of course, there are people, Kenyans always say that the alarm that most of us have is our problems. Our problems will just make you wake up. So you will find yourself waking up at 4 a.m. thinking about your problem. So that is what Kenyans say, that is the alarm that you need. And therefore, you will either wake up early, or you will find yourself oversleeping. Then the other one is you can find yourself nervous, maybe biting your nails, and you're fidgeting all the time. That is now what you call acute stress. Something that has just happened at that time. You've just been, this is what is happening. So this results into you get nervous, you start fidgeting. Maybe you've been told you're going to get a warning letter and you did not anticipate. That is the time now you start getting nervous, and it might be unconscious. So we'll do those 5 for now. And then do we move to emotional symptoms?
Yes.
Okay, emotional symptoms. Now emotional is what is happening in your mind. And this is not physical, because nobody will notice. But for you, the person experiencing this stress, you will know, because it is happening to you. And therefore, you'll find that you are agitated. Maybe people are talking to you. Either you are agitated easily, or you get irritated very fast. And also you find that your moods are low. And this can be experienced by, maybe you're in a group of people, or even you're talking to your friend, but you'll find that the way you're talking to this person is not the normal way, because anything small will irritate you. And during this time, that is why in counseling, we normally say self-awareness is very important. When you know yourself and you know that maybe you are stressed, that is the time now you can avoid responding maybe immediately. But what we are saying, the emotional response to stress that is very fast, is you'll find that the way you talk to your friends, or you respond even to your boss, might not be the same way you talk when you're okay. Then the other symptom is you're feeling overwhelmed. It's like you're losing it, like you are just losing it. You have no control over yourself. And by the way, you may find that you are a very calm person, but on this one now, when you're stressed, you find that you have just lost it and maybe responded in a manner that is not right. Then the other one is having a hard time relaxing, quieting your mind. There are so many things that are happening in your mind. Under normal circumstances, you are somebody who is calm, even in your mind. There's what we call noise in your mind. So when you are stressed, you'll find that there's so much that is running in your mind and you're not able to control it. And it is not your wish because it is a stressful situation that has happened. So it is the body's way of reacting. Then the other one is you might be feeling bad about yourself. You just feel that you're inadequate. And I think one of our audience talked about feeling inadequacy, that the feeling of inadequacy. And therefore, this is the time now. This is one of the responses, the emotional responses to stress. Symptom of stress.
Yes. So those are physical and those are mental symptoms that we can relate to a lot. You can even have those panic attacks and you start to wonder, you don't have enough oxygen, you are breathing too fast, you feel like you're going to pass out. These are real things, and these are the symptoms that we should not ignore of our body. However, I do know for a fact, Patsy, that when I am stressed, and if I do not control that kind of stress, depression can set in. Tell us, what are the red flags of depression, or something that you can tell us about depression? Because this is something that is happening a lot today. And being the month of April, it is the best time to start talking about our depression. Maybe I don't even know that I'm experiencing depression in a very small manner or in a large manner, but some red flags. And as you're getting the red flags together, Thierry says, most people think about stress as a negative, but sometimes it's an eye-opener, how to change a situation. And yes, it's all in the mind. Thierry, yes, perception of what you feel is stressing you. We have had a lot of engagement here as to what is stressing us. The perception is what carries us through. But let's listen to some red flags, Thierry. Let's listen to some red flags that Patsy will share with us that we need to be aware of. Patsy.
Thank you, Lucy. It is true. The consequences of long-term stress can be detrimental to our health. And therefore, as it is, the most common and most important one is depression. And it is important that we discuss depression because we have seen people committing suicide, and we are told that it is as a result of depression. And why we are here, we want to talk about stress so that we do not get to the level of depression.
Yeah.
And therefore, we will just look at some of the signs and symptoms of depression. However, depression varies from one person to the other, but there are common signs and symptoms. It is important to remember that these symptoms can be part of our normal life, and therefore we are just saying that this depression the stress that we are going through, when left unchecked, can easily culminate into depression. And therefore, we will look at a few signs and symptoms of how we can detect the red flags of depression. So when you start having those feelings of hopelessness and helplessness, you feel that you are hopeless. There is no solution. Nothing will come out of it. You feel, like you are just having a bleak outlook of everything, that nothing better will come out of this. That is a red flag. Because the reason why we are here, it is because we want to instill hope. And we do not want anyone to go through this when we are here. And even if we are not going to do it, we want to share that you are not alone. And do not allow yourself to get to the point of thinking that there is no hope. Ours here is to instill hope. We do not want to see a situation where we are losing our children, where we are losing our loved ones to depression, yet there was hope, or yet there is hope. Therefore, when you find that your mind is telling you that there's no hope, there's, I don't think I'm adequate. I don't think I need to live. That is a sign of depression. So ours is to instill hope.
Yes.
Now, Secondly, when you find yourself, you are stressed, and as you move forward, you have started losing interest in the things that you had interest before, like your hobbies, like the things that used to make you happy, the things that were giving you pleasure. You find that now you do not even want to engage in those things. That is a red flag that you are getting to depression. And maybe I should mention here, Lucy, is that when you're stressed and you do not talk to anybody, whether a therapist or significant other, that is the time now you find yourself getting to this level of depression. And that's why we are talking about these red flags. But ultimately, what really matters is you should at least talk to someone when you are stressed. I will continue talking about this, even if it's supposed to come at the end of it. But for us counselors, we always advocate talk therapy. And therefore, do not, when you find that you're losing interest in this thing, tell yourself that I don't think this is the right way to look at this situation that I'm facing. Yeah. Then number 3 is when you find that you're losing appetites and you're not able to eat as you're supposed to. And of course, this will lead to weight loss. The appetite may not be, okay, let me just put it clear. It could be, you could have loss of appetite or too much appetite. Therefore, when you're having loss of appetite, of course, you will lose weight. But again, when you're having, when you have too much appetite, you will eat a lot and gain more weight, which might not also be good for your health. Yeah. Therefore, these two, you need to check when you're stressed and you find that either you're not eating well or you're eating too much. And when you find that you have gained 5% of your weight in a month, let me not say, if you're not stressed and you gain weight, that's okay. But if you're stressed and you find that you're eating a lot, of course, yeah, that is a red flag. Yeah. Yeah. We talked about insomnia. Insomnia, in this case, we explained and talked of waking up early, yeah, than usual, or oversleeping. That is a red flag. That is a red flag, and it could be an indication that you are slipping into depression. Then the other one is anger and irritability. We had talked about this as a physical symptom. However, we are still emphasizing that when you start feeling agitated and irritable, when people are just talking to you in a normal way, that's why I brought in the issue of self-awareness. You need to know yourself. You need to understand yourself. Am I this kind of person who gets irritated when people talk to me? No. But what is happening to me now? Every time, every small thing, it results into an argument. That is a red flag that if you're stressed, you could be getting into depression. Then we also talked about loss of energy, because it is all in your mind. This stress is in the mind. But if it is left unchecked, it will result to loss of energy. You will start feeling fatigued. You will start feeling physically drained, and your whole body feels heavy. The normal tasks that you're able to do, you're not able to do them now. So you find yourself now asking yourself, you can't even maybe wash your own clothes, or even just the few things that you're supposed to do for yourself, you're not able to do because you are feeling, your energy is low. Then we also talked about the self-esteem, the low self-esteem. When you start feeling inadequate, you start feeling that, yeah, I really don't matter, nobody cares about me, and maybe even the things that you used to do, like things, responsibilities that you're able to handle on your own, you're not able to handle because you feel, how will people take me? Maybe even when there's an exercise that has been given, let's say at a place of work, you cannot even offer to do it. And those are things that you used to do. So all of a sudden, you have just become your self-esteem is low, even when people are talking, even when if you are maybe you used to contribute in meetings, all of a sudden you're just on your own. That is a red flag. And at the end of it all, we're still talking about self-awareness. When you know yourself very well and you look at these red flags, and there's a stressful situation that you're facing, ask yourself, could I be slipping into depression? Then the other one is reckless behavior. You know, we have coping mechanisms when you're going through a stressful situation, but we have negative coping mechanism, and this includes overindulging. Like if you're using, maybe you are somebody who takes alcohol, but now you will overdo it because you have found yourself, you are stressed, and therefore even when you tell yourself, I'll just go and have one drink, because your mind is telling you that you're stressed and this is the only way I'm going to cope, you'll find yourself overindulging. And of course, this is a negative coping mechanism. Therefore, when you see that you're over consuming maybe alcohol, or maybe somebody who never even used to abuse drugs will start abusing drugs. So this is this will now tell you that you are getting into depression. Then let me not without mentioning the issue of concentration problems. When you find yourself, you're not able to focus. When you're not able to focus or even to make simple decisions, you will know that there's something wrong with me. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Patsy. It's very sobering to hear all this and to imagine that we go through all this, and at times we're not even aware that a regular thing in our lives, and therefore we don't give it the attention that it needs. I'd just like us to look at 3 takeaways, and these 3 takeaways will help us to wrap it up shortly. And just as I read from my notes, just grabbing my notes here, just as I read from my notes, how to know that you are stressed. I'm just going to read from these notes that I've written down. I've been writing down as you're sharing them with me, because I think it's very important. So understanding what is causing you stress. And you shared with us the different causes of stress. And I want our audience to remember, what is it that is happening in your life that is causing you stress? Once you have an awareness and you call it, you know that this particular thing is the one that causes me stress. For body, for physical, emotional symptoms, and intellectual symptoms. Patsy has shared at least 5 for each, and I'm sure you are taking notes. And she has more, as you could see. She had so much more to share, but time is not on our side. But we will be here next week, same time, sharing again on how to avoid and relieve stress, which will give us a better insight of the more things we need to know. The third takeaway is to be aware of unchecked stress, where she mentioned lead to depression. This can be a very sad day for each one of us. If all along, all we had to do was to be aware of the things that cause us stress, to seek help, so that we can move away from fear and helplessness and just have hope. This would be so beautiful if this could happen, but very sad if we have people here on this audience who are already in that stage and don't know who to reach out to, or who knows somebody who's going through it and don't know who to reach out to. We are here. Patsy is a specialist. We can always reach out on this specific platform to take it further. Well, we are looking at the end of our session today. That session went fast, I think, because the matters that were discussed were so real in our lives. So there you have it. 3 takeaways on how to know when you are stressed. And unchecked stress can lead to depression. Beware of the red flags. Patsy was very clear and articulated them very well. And we both say you are not alone. There is hope. Next week, we'll be looking at how to avoid and relieve stress. This is a very important progression from where we are coming from today. And you don't want to miss this. So we're going to try and upload this particular session on my YouTube channel. You want to look out for that. Visit my website for any other updates that we might be giving. Now, my book is available on Amazon. My book, which is called The Awakening Self. And I'm sure you have already seen on my different platforms that I have talked at length about this book. Go on to Amazon and order a copy, whether it is a hard copy or whether it is a Kindle copy, and be able to read my personal story. And now I've managed to overcome quite a few things from my younger age. In the meantime, thank you so much, Patsy, and we will see you all next week. Let us help build each other, and until next week, be kind to yourselves. Bye-bye now.
Bye. Thank you, Lucy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.